Minecraft storage systems are scary. They're complicated, huge, and take a lot of resources to make. That was until these guys showed up. So today, we're going to build a storage system that can hold every single item in the game with the help of the Copper Golem. So this is my current storage situation, and it's got like a decent amount of chests, but like this isn't anything amazing. So I think if I can upgrade this, that should be pretty good. In my mission to fill up this island with builds, I want to build the storage system outside in the open. And right now I basically do everything on this side of the island. So I think if we put the storage system somewhere where these trees are, it should be a quite good spot for it. So that first means that I need to actually move these trees somewhere since they are right in the way. So I reckon if we just shove them in the forest somewhere might work. Alright, there we go. So they've all been moved over to just there for now. I think it should be far enough away. But what exactly is our game plan? Because storing every item in the game is a bit of a big task. So I'll start with step 1. Which will be building the layout of the chests for the inside of our storage room. So if we look at my current storage system, all the bulky items that we have are like deep slate, stone, and cobblestone, andesite, just all that sort of blocks. So we'll build a bulk storage for those blocks. So let me get some dirt, and we'll just make ourselves as many chests as we can now. And let's just go make a rough layout of where I want all these chests to go. So if I build up 2 blocks, this is where we'll start building the storage room so I can have a little bit of room to work with, like under it. So I'll shove all the bulk items along here, I think. 10 bulk items should be more than enough for me. And then we'll head off this way and we'll do like a row of our general storage. So I think if we do something like this for the general storage, that should be more than enough chests to be able to store, hopefully, every single block in this game too. Of course, they'll all be double chests, but like right now, I definitely don't have enough chests to do that. And then we'll also make them sort of like a 3x3 block of chests like this. Hold on. How can this many chests hold every single item in Minecraft? Well, that's where step 2 comes in. So Copper Golems make creating a miss a lot easier than before. A miss is a multi-item sorter, meaning it can sort multiple different items inside the same chest. This used to be very hard to make with redstone, but luckily the Copper Golem can do it without the need for any redstone at all. So for step 2, all we have to do is group different items together inside each chest, so the Copper Golem will know where to sort each item for us. Either way, before we do all that, we still have to build up more chests. Perfect. So that is every chest we should need to be able to store all of my items. So what I'll do is the bulk storage will be powered by normal hoppers, whereas these ones will be powered by the new Copper Golem. So let's start off by organizing the bulk storage first, since that will be by far the simplest. So I reckon we definitely need one for cobbled deep slate, probably one for normal deep slate as well. We definitely need one for stone and cobblestone, definitely one for dirt. We'll get a gravel and we'll get a sand one in there too. We'll get some andesite and some granite, I reckon. And one of the other blocks that I get way too much of is netherrack. So we might as well try and store that properly. All right, so let's get these all placed down here so I know what chest row aligns to what block. There we go. So now each of these rows will basically just line up with what we want to store in them. So this one will have all the cobblestone in it. This one will have all the gravel. And now these ones are going to be a little bit more difficult and might need some planning. So what I'll do is I'll put some colored wool under each of these chests, and then we can plan out what categories of blocks will go into each color. So we'll just shove wool under some chests. So just like that. So let's jump into a creative world and let's see if I can make some sort of system to organize all this. So these are all the colors that we need to fill up, and I managed to download a schematic where they've nicely organized most of the blocks in the game into chests. So then what I've gone ahead and done is place a piece of wool on top of each chest to indicate where we'll be putting it in the storage system. So for example, this pink will line up with this pink here. So in the pink chest, we'll have basically all the different types of woods. And then, for example, like the yellow section will have all of the colorful blocks in it. So all the glasses, terracotta, all the candles, banners. So now that we've got the categories, let's start putting the item filters into the chests back in survival. So we'll start with the pink section, since that will probably be the easiest one, since we'll put 9 different wood types, 1 for each chest. So I took out all the different types of wood I had in my current storage system. Okay, let's go put those in there, and then let's see what else we need. So we'll use item frames to show what block is in each chest. We were able to put pale oak, acacia, warped, birch, mangrove, dark oak, and jungle wood in place. And then I'll also make these item frames invisible. I think that should look a little bit nicer. Alright, so we still need the crimson wood and bamboo blocks. We've got crimson there, but we don't have any bamboo by the look of it. So let's quickly go to Wires Base and we'll get some bamboo. So there should be some bamboo underground here, I think. Yep, plenty of it. So we'll put that one there, and we'll put the bamboo one in there. So now, all I got to do is get all the variants of the different blocks for each type. So if we go back in the creative world, and we look at, for example, this pale oak one, we need to get ourselves all of these different types of variants. So this is going to take a while. No, it won't. Instead of collecting every single item in this game, which could be a whole video on its own, I'll just take out all the blocks that are currently in my storage system and find a place for them in the new one. And I'll make sure to leave spaces in case I do end up collecting every block in the future. So either way, we've now managed to put all of the wood from our storage room into here. We are missing cherry wood, so what I might do is I might replace mangrove, because I really like building out of mangrove. So we'll move that one to like another place, and then we'll just put cherry stuff in here. But for now, you know, I'll just shuffle the mangrove in there, which means there's 3 types of wood still left to collect: oak, spruce, and mangrove. So I got all my spruce and oak out of my old storage system. And then what we'll do for this one is, instead of making 1 chest for 1 type of block, we'll do 1 row for 1 type of block. So here in the middle, we'll do some oak wood, and then we'll do the same for spruce. And then at the top, we'll do mangrove. We probably don't need 3 chests of just mangrove, but I guess it gives me an excuse to use lots of mangrove in the future. So that's the pink and magenta sections done, which means we can now store 226 different items. Next up, we may as well do the yellow section, which will do all the colored blocks in. So let's see, so I've got a decent amount of wool, and then I've also got a shulker box full of wool. So that will definitely be its own chest. So I'll make a wool chest with basically just white wool, black wool, and grey wool, since those are the ones I use the most. And then we might as well just shove all the other type of wool just in a chest here. Since the yellow section is all the colorful items in the game, we put in stained glass, dyes, concretes, and terracottas, which was actually a reasonably big chunk of items. So with that section done, we can now store a total of 423 items. So now next up, we may as well work on the purple section. So it's basically everything that's in here is what we need to sort into those chests. So because this chest is full of nature related blocks, I was able to split the items up into a few categories. We had flowers, grass, moss, and seeds, which all had their own chest in the purple section. And then for the remaining chests in the purple area, I thought it'd be a good idea to carry on the nature theme. So we did a chest for dirt/grass related blocks, mud related blocks, lighting blocks, logs, and lastly a food chest. And then that is the purple section done for now. So now before we do another section, let's work on getting all of the bulk items into their place. So we've already done dirt, so let's see how many more we can actually do. We put in netherrack, stone, granite, andesite, and a single stack of cobblestone. So that is all of the bulk storage items done, and we don't really have a lot of bulk, do we? Alright, next up we will do the cyan section, I reckon. So this one can be basically all these stony variants, so stuff like all of these blocks, just the variants of them, so the stairs, the slabs. And I'll do this one in 2 sections. I'll do one that will be the mossy variants, and then I'll do another which will be sort of the regular just stone variants. So then we put in a chest for diorite, andesite, granite, quartz, and sandstone variants. Then I filled up the last chest slot with normal bricks and mud brick variants, which completed the cyan section, which now means with our 5 completed sections, we can store a total of 691 items. So inside the blue section, I was gonna do sort of the like really small blocks. So like ice, ocean blocks, coral. We could probably combine like ice and the coral blocks into one chest because realistically, I'm never gonna need to store this much coral. And then we'll also put like purple, like amethyst, dripstone. Not gonna use much of that. And then the only heavy hitter in the blue section will be the copper. So let's quickly jump on into the world and get this one done. Actually, I might change this from end stuff and amethyst to deep dark stuff. So like skulk. And then we can do end stuff in this chest potentially, which then leaves us with 3 chests alone for just copper related items. I reckon one chest can be for just normal blocks of copper, like copper and then all the oxidized states of it. And then in here we can do all the variants. So stuff like copper bulbs, cut copper, trapdoors, all that sort of stuff can go into here. And then I reckon this last one we might as well just do for all of the waxed variants of copper, which now means we've finished all but one section, the green section. This was going to have to be a big filler section, even though the blue section was 270 items, with the copper stuff taking up 124 of them. We still need to find space for 749 items, which is where we run into a bit of a problem. There's a total of 9 double chests of space left, which is 486 spaces, a lot less than the 749 we need to store. So what I'm going to do is remove some items from our total list. So we'll start with all the different types of tools and armor, since I'll never need to store those. They take up 86 spaces. Then I can remove all the potions, which is an insane 148. We can remove 128 different enchanting books, 23 pottery shards, and lastly 10 banner patterns, which brings our total down to 354 items, which can easily fit in the remaining chests. So in our chests, we put all the types of ores, workstations, and mob drops. Next up, we might as well do all the decoration blocks. So we'll pretty much just shove all that stuff in there. It's basically just an overflow. But now the next one that we want to sort out is redstone items. So because redstone's such a big category, I might split this sort of into 2 sections. So I might do like the bulky redstone stuff. So stuff like redstone, rails, maybe even slime blocks and honey blocks can go into this one as well. So that can be that sort of one. And then the next redstone one that we can do can be sort of like all the more complicated redstone stuff. So basically stuff you have to craft. And that's everything moved out of my old storage room to the new one. And we still have 3 empty spots left. So in theory, we can now store every item in the game, minus some of the stuff that we took out, which now means we can move on to step 3 of the game plan. This is where we actually start using the copper golem to automate our storage system. So for the bulk storage, we'll be doing just a basic hopper thingy to make it automatic. So we'll just shove hoppers on the back of all of these chests. Bang, and just like that, we have finished the sorter for the bulk storage. We just need to shove a couple hoppers facing into these here, and that's it, we're done. So now what we'll do is we'll start working on the general item storage, and to do that, instead of using normal hoppers, we are going to use the new copper golem. I can use a carved pumpkin and a copper block to make a copper golem. So can I pick up this chest? I can, that is perfect. Are you leadable? Oh, you are, that's beautiful. Okay, you can stay right there. So with this being a 3x3 design, it's designed so that the copper golem can reach all of these chests really efficiently. So let's build up a little system now. So we'll need some fences, we'll need some mud blocks, and then we'll also need some twisted vines. So let's quickly head on into the nether and get some of those. All right, where is a warped forest? Right there, perfect. So we just need these thingies, which I ship out of Silk Touch, that's what it's called. 26 should be more than enough. So basically what I have to do is we set up a little mud block right here against this chest, which still allows the copper golem to reach this very bottom one here, along with all the others really easily. We place in twisted vine there, surround this all with some fence gates, and then we place a copper chest here, and then we place a normal chest up here. So now if we try to get the copper golem to stand in here, which he's doing automatically, that is helpful. Nope. Okay, well, he's almost fully there. He just needs to jump up one more block, please. Oh, come on, get in. Okay, so he's standing there. So if I now put something like, let's see, what do we have? We have sticks in here, so I'll take some sticks. If I put some sticks into this chest, the golem should pick it up. Oh, here we go. And then he should search all the chests till he finds the one that has the sticks, which is that one. And he should put them in. Yeah, there we go. So now every set of chests needs to have a copper golem inside. And then the way that we'll link them together is that if the copper golem can't find the right block in any of these chests, it will put it in this empty chest, which will then flow through to the next copper chest, which is where the next copper golem will be. And it basically just repeats this for all the sections till it gets to the end. Let's start building those up. Because we built the overflow chest a block higher than the copper chest, I was able to connect them together using some hoppers. Once all 7 sections had a copper golem, I connected the hopper line from the bulk storage down to the miss section. So let's see, what will I use to test this? Let's start with testing some mangrove planks, and then we'll also test something that's right down the end of the line. So we'll do like some redstone lamps. So we'll start it right at the end here. So what we should start seeing happening is this chest should start filling up with the blocks, which it is. That's good. So that means it's already past our bulk storage without any issues. And then this guy should take some, look through these chests, and then he won't find any that have that block in it. Wow, this is going to be a bit of a slow storage system. We might need to add some more golems into here. But once he checks all the chests, he'll look at this one last. Please be able to reach that chest. Uh-oh. Did he put it back? Wait, what? Oh, wait. Oh, it's mangrove. Oh, so it worked. Okay, I thought mangrove was further down. Okay, so mangrove worked fine. So let's see what happens with these redstone lamps. So he should check all these chests and then put it in this one. Yeah, there we go. And then that one could then get passed along to this guy, who will do the same thing, see that they're not here, put it in this chest. This guy will do the same thing, and then it will come to this guy, who will see it in this chest and put it away. Beautiful. So that works. It's a little bit slow, so we'll try add more golems eventually. And then any overflow will go into this chest. We'll do something about that at the end, actually. So now that we've got the automatic sorting part all done, I need a way of actually putting items into the system. And I want to be able to just dump a shulker box into like a chest or a barrel or something. So let's design a system to automatically unload shulker boxes. Like here, I reckon is a good spot. I built a simple shulker box unloader that I found on YouTube, and it's done. So we place a shulker box in here, gets dispensed, stands here until all of the items go into this barrel. So in this barrel, we just need to connect up to the top of here. But then I also want a way of getting the shulker box back. So if I place another barrel on top of that one, that can be our empty shulker box barrel, which all I have to do is basically just make a hopper that comes off here into a elevator that sends it up to there. So it should be fairly simple. We just make a simple little basic dropper elevator, which then can connect straight up into here. After giving the elevator some redstone, I built a second, taller one up to the bulk storage so that the items that got unloaded from the shulker box could enter our storage system loop. Let's give this a final test before we add in more copper golems. So I might as well test it with everything that's in my inventory now. We'll break that and we'll send it in there. So it should get quite loud because this whole system here will activate in a minute. There it is, which will make a lot of noise. And then, so while that's going, we should start seeing some blocks filling up this chest here, which we already do. So now we wait to see if all of these items end up in the right place. After about 10 seconds, my lack of patience couldn't handle how slow a single copper golem was, so I decided it was probably going to be a good idea to shove multiple golems into each section. And we can do this because each section has a twisted vine on the mud block, which allows us to basically bypass an entity's hitbox, meaning we can put as many copper golems on this one block as we want without them getting in each other's way or entity cramming. So I just need to do this. Let's do it 3 times per cell, and that should speed things up a little bit. Because I didn't drop the first golem into the vine, it wasn't centered, which made all the other golems get pushed outside the vine, meaning it ended up looking like this. So I kinda killed all the golems and re-added them back in. And then I went through each section and basically just added a small army of copper golems into the storage system. There we go, all done. So now I should be able to put just normal items straight into this chest as well. And then they should travel around in the storage system, right? Yes, there they go. Okay. So now we can put shulker boxes and just normal items in here, which will be great. These guys are going ham. Oh yeah, this is much better now that they're all contained inside the little twisted vine. And then let's just make a temporary little overflow for now. So we'll just take the output from that, just shove it into a chest down here. Okay, there is one problem that I found. So we keep on getting oxidized copper and oxidized copper chests into the overflow, and they should be going into this chest and into this chest, right? But if I put these in here, watch, I'm pretty sure they don't even check that chest. Like, watch, we'll never see this chest open or this chest open. See, so already one of them's opened this chest. Okay, one's put them in there. Wait, so what just happened there? Wait, so what happens if I put it in here again? Do you work this time? Because it wasn't working before. So let's see, does he check this one? No, he just goes straight to that chest and then he'll put it in because it's empty. How do we fix that? Yeah, we need to try something different for this one then. So I think the problem could be that the order it checks the chests is like whatever it's closest to. And it must be closer to this chest than these two. So if we add a little minecart thing here, do something like this. Put him there. Put him in the minecart. Oh, he's in the chest? That is maybe too optimal. Yeah, maybe we don't need the minecart track thing there. What if we go... Where does that go now? So we'll go like that. We'll break this. Place the minecart. He goes in. Then if we destroy that, he can move wherever he wants. Let's put that guy in there for now. Just a singular guy. And then if we get a sticky piston, put it there. Push him forwards. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Can you reach this anymore? No, okay, it's too far away to reach that. So if we go... Like that? Do you now work? Oh, okay, so you're pushed up right against that. If he checks all of these chests before checking this one, we're just going to leave it like this. There we go. Okay, that's good enough. We're going to leave it like that. That is the entire storage system all automated. It's that simple. Every single block in the game requires this much space. So if you want to download a schematic of this layout and the finished build, which you'll see later in the video, it's all available on my Patreon. Anyway, back to the video. So now that we've got this storage room just in the middle of our island, it's looking quite bad. So it's time to try cover this up. So that is where step 4 of the plan comes in. We need to cover this up. On my island, I've already built a cyberpunk theme and an Italian coastal town. So let's make this build completely different to anything else and build a jungle type of theme. To build this, I want to use a lot of blocks like granite and packed mud. So let's see, how much andesite do we have? Not enough. Okay. Either way, we'll put those into a shulker box and let's go get ourselves a bunch more granite. So we'll head over to my cobblestone farm where we should be able to get all the cobblestone that we need to make it. Perfect, that should be enough. And then we'll head over to the gold farm, which we made the last episode. So we should have a decent amount of quartz. Yeah, we do. We got more than enough. So we should be able to make a decent amount of diorite. We should then be able to turn it straight into granite, right? Yeah, there we go, the quartz. Let's see, should that be enough? Yeah, that's more than enough. All right, next up, we'll work on getting some of the mud blocks that I want to build with. I reckon the main one we'll use will be mud bricks, which needs packed mud, which is mud and wheat. So the mud should be super easy to get since all I really have to do is get a bunch of dirt, head over to a cauldron and drop all the dirt in. And then we've got a data pack on the server that converts that straight to mud. So that's that part already done. But now to get all the wheat for this, let's mine all this and let's see how much normal wheat we can get. Wow, that's not even enough to make a stack. Okay. There is a wheat farm inside this factory here, but I'm not sure how much wheat that one's actually made. Let's see. A stack of hay bales should actually be more than enough, I think. Right, if we turn this all into packed mud. Okay, well, it wasn't. Okay, we need to find another wheat field somewhere. Let's just fly around till found one. Okay, never mind. We'll just go mine up a bunch of this. We'll just make sure to replant it all. Surely that's enough. Perfect, it is. So now we just have to turn all that into mud bricks. And now that we've got all the mud bricks, what I might do is I might also build out of just regular packed mud. So let's take like 14 or so stacks. Let's go convert that to mud. And now we need to go mine more wheat again. All right, there we go. Done. So now I reckon the next block that we'll get to complement these blocks will be a bunch of jungle planks, because they're basically the same like color. And I feel like we probably won't need enough to justify building a farm for them. So let's go find a jungle forest and just mine down a decent amount of trees. Ah, that's what we're looking for. All right, I guess I just need to take down a decent amount of wood here. All right, that should hopefully be enough jungle logs. But now I need to strip all of them. So this is gonna be nice and fun. Ah, done. Wait, I swear we had way more than that. Oh well. All right, so now the next block that I want to get is some mushroom blocks. And these are probably one of the worst blocks to farm in the entire game. I am not doing that manually because that will take forever. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna build a brown mushroom farm like here somewhere. Luckily, I had all the materials required, so I could build it straight away. There we go. I think it's actually just done. So all I got to do is fill up this barrel with some mushrooms and then this one with some bone blocks, and it's done. It's ready. I got a few stacks of bone blocks from the inside of the redstone factory, and then we'll quickly get some mushrooms while we're here. So there's a few here that I can take. So I'm pretty sure if I just fortune this with an axe, it should not drop. Oh, you know, no, there it goes. It drops a little bit. Okay. All right, so let's hope 14 mushrooms is enough to start this thing, but we'll shove all of our bone blocks into here. So now all we have to do is place a block here, so we can start this thing. And now I should be able to put this on my offhand, sit here, and we can go. Maybe not. Please don't tell me mushrooms need to be grown in a dark place. Ah, there is. These pistons need to be a block back. So if these go here, it should now work, right? Please? Please, game? Please work. Oh, there we go. And then we get sent up and we start mining. And... oh, that didn't work. Ah. Okay, now it went wrong. So this was meant to send a signal down to... oh, we forgot a piece of... now it's going to work, right? So it goes up, we start mining, then the blocks should get pushed towards us. Which they didn't. They did a little bit. What? Okay, why these not get triple piston extended? Because I didn't have a redstone line. Okay, we need more redstone along here. Now it'll work, right? So that all works. Now it should get pushed a lot further forward. There we go. And now we go back down and replant. There we go. But I'm not actually getting any of these blocks. I need to put Silk Touch on an axe instead of Fortune. All right, I'll just buy one from Loki's shop. All right, let's see if this works now with a Silk Touch pick. I think it should work fine. This is working perfectly. All right, so let's see. Is this actually any good? Oh, wow. Yeah, that gets us quite a lot. And we get a decent amount of brown mushrooms out of it too. All right, so now I'm just going to use this farm to like get hopefully enough brown mushroom blocks, so it shouldn't take very long. Yeah, let's just hope that's enough. That should be a decent amount. So next up, I want to get basically just a bunch of mossy type of blocks so that I can make our jungle themed building look like it's actually in a jungle. So how much moss do I have? Yeah, I got 7. Let's go visit the shopping district, because I could build a moss farm, or I could just buy 2 stacks for 1 diamond at Stowe's shop. And I think one option is going to be a little bit quicker and easier than the other. So while I'm here, I might as well get all the leaves that I need. So we'll buy like a few stacks of oak leaves, a few stacks of mangrove, a little bit of jungle, I reckon. And we'll just get some azalea. And now what I'll do is I'll just make a bunch of mossy cobblestone. So I'll just do that by using our moss blocks, I guess. Because I should be able to combine cobblestone and moss blocks to make mossy cobblestone. So I reckon with all of these blocks, we should have enough to start building the sort of general shape of how I want this jungle temple to be. So let's start off by cleaning up this land even more, because like we've just got a giant hole right here. So we'll cover that up. Yeah, let's just make this a little bit cleaner. There we go, that's a little bit nicer now that we don't have a random hole. So let's start placing down some blocks and get just a shape that I want this to be. It's a bit of a strange shape, but we'll make it work. So let's work on maybe the main entrance for now. Let's see what we can sort of do here. The overall colors of this build is going to be like a brown and orange. But while I'm building close to the ground, I want the building to look like nature is starting to take over. So it's going to be very mossy and green, which I tried to show here. All right, I'm liking the look of this. It's fairly detailed. So now we're up here. What I might just do is I might make a big like floor just going straight into here, and then we'll make it run down here as well. And I'll build that out of like packed mud mainly, I reckon. I don't know how I didn't notice this, but the bulk storage was a block lower than the rest of the chests. So I had to make a little dip in the floor so I could access the lower chests. But I think it actually made it look way nicer since it added a bit of variety to the floor. You can also see that I spammed crafting tables all on the floor. That was just so I could easily craft no matter where I was standing in the room. So what I might quickly do now is build up the walls inside the storage room. So then we can work on the outside once we know how big the inside will be. But what I want to do is I want to use some pots, like these ones, the decorative pots for some pillars. But I don't really want them to just be the plain boring ones, and I want to try get like the decorated ones. So I sent a message to the Channel 64 Discord asking if anyone is willing to help me get through this incredibly boring task of brushing gravel, and luckily NeatFreeze wanted to help. So we flew over to the only known trail road left still on the island. Oh yeah, found it. It is just right here. Look at it, nice and exposed for us. So Ned and I got to work brushing and digging away the ruin. Oh, first shard. Oh, I got another armor trim. Oh, pottery shard. Perfect. Oh, well.
Oh, I found a pottery shard.
Is that another one? Yeah. Well, that looks like it.
Yeah, that might be it. We actually did a lot.
That's a decent amount of loot. So that was reasonably successful. We got ourselves a decent amount of pottery shards from that, but I still want to get a couple more. So if we head on over to the shopping district, Wire has made a shop where he's selling some artifacts, which are 15 diamonds each. Wow, okay. I'm gonna spend all my money here, I guess. So now, if we get ourselves some clay, no, some bricks, that's all we need. And we can make ourselves some of the pottery shards, I believe. I only put a decorative shard on one side of each pot because we didn't collect that many of them. So I didn't want just like one pillar to be super decorative and then the rest have nothing on them. So I'll place down a base for now that we'll put these on. And then let's just place in some pottery shards and see what happens. Alright, so we've got one left, so we'll just shove that one like here. I guess it works. Yeah, who cares? Cool enough. We'll work with it. So I feel like this is going to look a little bit better once we actually build like a roof and stuff over it. So let's build up that and then we'll judge it after that. Alright, so this room's done and it definitely looks a lot better with like an actual roof on it and stuff. But to give it a little bit more depth, what I want to do is put the new shelf block around the bottom of these pillars here. So how many do we get from making one? We get 6. Okay, so we might need like 2 possibly then. And we'll just go around here and put them on all of these. Oh, they knock the item frames off. We'll just put them on one side. We'll remove those. So how bad does it look if it's just that? It's not terrible. Better than nothing, I guess. I am noticing though it's very dark down here. So we may as well use the new copper lanterns. So we'll just shove those up here. So I think that looks pretty good for the interior of this. And now I just need to work on sort of the bulk storage system area since it's a bit exposed. All right, so we've got basically the whole inside of the storage room done. And you can see what I wanted to do for like the entrance. So we just got like a nice little arch entrance and it looks quite nice. And now if we look on the outside, we can see basically what we need to start trying to cover up. So what I might try do is cover up this whole like hopper based item sorter first, and we'll work on the rest of the base after that. I reckon that turned out quite nice. But before we tackle building this front wall, I've now started to run into a slight problem. So a lot of the stuff that I need is under this hill here, and then the storage room is over here, but there's no entrance from the side of the storage room, and it's getting quite annoying having to run all the way under the storage room and then up these stairs here to be able to get in. We don't really have any space to put in like an extra entrance. So what I think the next best thing would be, we may as well just come in through the floor. So what I'm thinking we do is maybe some type of slime block launcher where I run over and it launches me up into the room. So let's start designing up one of those. Hey, let's test this. So if we go like that, we should shoot up and in. Good. Now we're just going to patch up this hole. We need to use a lot of piston stuff here, which is why I built this part here so weirdly. So we need to start off by putting a piston there, but now that is directly in the way of our path. So if we shove another couple pistons along here to retract these two, that should all work well. So now from here, I could probably replace this with a redstone lamp. If we shove that there, that should power that. And then all we should really have to do is that there. We'll place a repeater here, block there. And then if we just shove a redstone torch there, that should power those two. And it should be as simple as that. Now if we run through. Okay, well, we might need to adjust the timings a little bit. So I'm just slow this down a little bit. Does that work now? Oh, that works well. Hold on, let's do that again. That worked surprisingly well. So if we go across, we just sprint. Oh, that's beautiful. I might just quickly cover this up, turn it into like a little bit of a tunnel, and then see what that looks like. There we go. So that all works and it's all covered up nicely. So for now, what I need to do is basically fill in this space here, build up this wall a little bit, and then we'll build up this side as well. It's basically just going to be a repeat of what we've already done. So let's just get that all finished. All right, so we've built up a decent amount more wall. So the entrance is just here, so we'll work on that next. So I think what I want to do in this area is build some sort of staircase to meet up to this like roof height or floor or whatever we want to do up here. We'll then also build a staircase that goes down into here. So let's build that up. All right, so the staircase is done and it definitely looks half decent at least. So I added the skull here because I thought why not, but I also want to add a bone here and then also one of those pink flowers. I have no idea what they're called, the ones that like emit particles. So let's go find a few of those. Yeah, there's some over there. Okay, here we go. Those things are what we're looking for. Oh, there's heaps of them. This is perfect. You know what, let's hope 10's enough. So now I can add a few spore blossoms around, which should add a little bit of color and the weird particle things they make. So we'll shove one over there, and then if we go inside our little back entrance here, we can shove one like here, and that should be good. And then we can also place the bone there, and we'll make the item frame invisible. Perfect. So now that we've got all the front half done and then we have got that side done, we can basically start building up this side here, and then that should allow us to place in a roof on top of all this here. Alright, so I've managed to build up the entrance side up to the same height as the rest of the wall. So what I can do here is I can build a little building in here, I reckon. And then we can do something with this little like hallway thing that I've made in here that can lead somewhere else. But that'll be a problem for later, because for now we still have more wall to do, mainly just the back half now. So let's connect up these two sides. I built up a tower on the right side of the temple before someone had to show up and ruin my day. No! What? Oh, why does the Wandering Trader have to ruin everything? Oh, okay, well. Before that Wandering Trader came and decided to mess up my whole storage system, we finished the tower, which looks really cool. I think it definitely adds to it. It's a little bit too tall right now, so we'll make the rest of the build a little bit taller as well. And then I also went ahead and did most of the back, and I just added this little hill here because I thought, why not? Yeah, so now we only have this area left to connect up to the wall, and I want to do this one as like a big version of this. You can sort of see like a square that I left over like along here, so I could build quite a big tower here. But I guess we have to fix our storage system now. Inside our storage system here, we have some like golems that turn into statues from when I first created them. And so we should be able to use these to fill up the ones that we're missing. So if we just make sure to get some wax, it should be a fairly easy fix. All we gotta do, place them, and then if we use the axe, do they turn into... Yeah, there we go. Then we'll just wax this guy. What? We can't wax him. He's inside the hitbox. I should be able to remove that, and he wouldn't move because it's just him. So we'll do that to that guy. We'll get some like dirt blocks for now, and I'll just have to wax them like I was doing to put them in there in the first place. So I'll just do that. We'll turn them into malt statues again, wax them, and get rid of the floor. And last one is in. All right, we have a quite a big problem. So bricks are ending up in the overflow chest, but it shouldn't be happening because we have bricks in this chest, which means these guys aren't reaching up into that top chest anymore. So I'm going to try to do what I did with this guy, where I like pushed him up with a fence gate. So let's see if I can make this work with 6 copper golems in there. I need to replace this block here. So if I get this piston, place it facing down, and then go like this. Good. And now, if I place the piston facing this way, we get rid of this vine, it shouldn't break. Perfect. And then we push them. And we'll just leave it like that. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. That is not ideal. Now let me quickly go get a sticky piston. I'll put that back there. Okay, now we just need to add in our golem. Okay, so they're all back in place. So now we will remove the vine, and then we'll push them into there, and we'll pull it back out and quickly place back the vine, and now they shouldn't move. And now if we put in our bricks for the test, they should be able to grab them, and they should actually put them into the chest this time. There we go. Okay, so that works. After that slight setback, we got back to building. All right, so to start this section, I'll pretty much just do a boring solid wall up to this height here. So let me quickly just build that up. All right, so with that done, let's put in this like roof so that a Wandering Trader can't spawn here again. So I'm thinking I'll make it pretty much just a bunch of grass. Like we'll work on adding a bit more details later, but for now we'll just do mainly a bunch of dirt. While I was adding in the dirt, I left a little area open so I could build up a much larger second tower. So the tower is now done and it looks reasonably nice, but I do want to add some pitcher pods in here because they sort of are like jungly type flowers. So let's go try find some. So I might just fly over to Loki's base, which is over here, because he has a sniffer farm underground. So I'm sure he won't notice if I just, you know, take a few. So we'll just take a small stack and then we run away. So let's just put these in this farm here, so we'll get a few of them growing. And they've all grown up now. So let's just harvest a few of these and let's place a few around and just see what they look like. These are quite good at adding just like a big pop of color. Anyway, in the center of this weird courtyard, I guess this could be, we've got this big grass patch here, and I reckon some type of statue could look quite cool here. So if I just build a little type of podium stand thing here, just like this, then we'll go get ourselves an armor stand, and then we'll get ourselves some copper ingots, and we'll make some copper armor. We'll do everything but a helmet. And then we may as well make ourselves a copper axe. So if we place the armor stand like here, we can use the armor stand poser mod, and we'll just make it have a bit of a cooler pose. So I'll start off by making it go into like the winning pose, I guess. We'll do that. And then we'll make it a bit larger as well. Maybe 1.8 times the size. Okay. And then how does it look if we just shove the armor on? I think he's a little bit too big, actually. Make him like 1.5 times the size, should work. And then if we just get ourselves a copper chest head and shove that on, I think that's quite a cool little statue. All right, so now we pretty much just need to fill up sort of this roof and not make it as flat. So what I might do is I might shove another one of these towers like around this area. So then it should sort of fill in a bit of space, and then we can maybe add another tower over here, and then we'll see what it looks like after that. That looks pretty good, I reckon. So I've gone ahead and added this little tower, which I think just helps frame it a little bit better. And then I've gone and made this sort of bigger central tower where I want to put a stack of gold blocks on top, because I reckon it could be quite cool, like it's holding treasure up there or something. But I don't have any gold blocks right now, so let's go find some of those. So in here, I have 2 pieces of gold. That's cool. Okay. Maybe I've got some more at my gold farm. Do I have any gold here? Please tell me I do. Uh-oh. Is there a little bit? 30? 33 should be enough, hopefully. So now that we've got some gold blocks, what I also want to do is make some blocks of raw gold. I think that's what they're called. So I'll grab a bunch of our deep slate gold ore, and I'll just build up a little tower. But then if I mine this, we should just get the raw gold, which we then should be able to turn to blocks of raw gold, I think. Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's go make a stack of gold. Let's see what that looks like. All right, so now I reckon that pretty much just leaves us with decorating this sort of top area here, which all we can really do is just tidy up like these random things here, and then also just add some grass and maybe a couple trees on here. So let's do one last big time lapse to hopefully be able to finish off this entire building. All right, we have finished the entire top half, and I think that makes it look so much better. It really just like finishes the whole build. So I just added 2 simple little trees, just one there and one there. Added some like weird archway thingies, and then at the back, just did whatever this is. So every room is done, except there's this little sort of like thing in here which I could do something with, and I can't really think of anything too much to do, so I might just make this into a little room, and I'll just see what I can do here. Alright, so I've got this room. So what I'm thinking I do is in this corner I do a sort of, I don't know, just some storage with maybe a skeleton over here, and then some like cobwebs and stuff. And then on this corner we could just do a bunch of leaves, because leaves just fix everything. So this side should be nice and easy. I'll just quickly add in a bunch of leaves. So just like that. I added some barrels and pots, then a bunch of pale moss and cobwebs, and lastly I made the skeleton that's sitting on the floor using an armor stand. And that finishes off the whole storage system, I think. So I guess a good final way to test if this all works is we'll just empty our inventory into it, see what happens. We let the storage system work its way through my inventory. Alright, so now this box is finally emptied. So let's just see if we've got many things in our overflow chest. Oh, I'm sure there's a good explanation for all these. What I'm hoping is that it's because we didn't have these blocks in the storage system. No, we didn't have this one or that one. So that one's all good. Jungle leaves, we also didn't have. But apart from that, it looks like this is all working really well. Which means this jungle temple can technically hold and sort every single item in Minecraft. So next up, we just need to build an entire jungle biome around this so it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. But that's a problem for next episode. If you want to download this or just the redstone, it's available for download on my Patreon. Thank you to all my YouTube and Patreon members, and I'll see you in the next video.